Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm seeing some faces I don't normally see, and I like it. It's good to see you all. If you look in the bulletin and in your calendar, you'll see that November 30th is the first Sunday of Advent. Christmas is 2 months away as of yesterday. But before I'm excited about the Christmas season, once Reformation Day is over, then folks can put their Christmas lights on, which is also exciting. Today is not Christmas, it is Mission Sunday, but I'm messing up my order here. Christmas is coming soon, when we remember and celebrate the incarnation of our merciful King. All that Christ assumed, he also redeemed. Praise God. I hope this Mission Sunday will be informative, encouraging, and a good way to connect with and understand the goings-on of the missionaries who come from our very own church. Before we hear from them, we have some housekeeping to attend to, so if anybody has any announcements, they can come forward. If not, I'll just highlight a couple. This one is for me and my wife. Sunday, November 16th is baby dedication, so we had to talk to Rudy, and if you have babies you want to get dedicated, you should also talk to Rudy prior to November 16th. Matt and Lisa Wiebe, they have a taco fundraiser November 8th. They are missionaries planning to return back to the Dominican. So let's keep them in mind. For the call to worship this morning, I'll be reading from Matthew 13. If you'd like to turn there, Matthew 13, verse 1. On that day, Jesus went out of the house and was sitting by the sea. Such large crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat down, while the whole crowd sat on the shore. Then he told them many things in parables, saying, "Consider the sower who went out to sow. As he sowed, some seeds fell along the path, and the birds came and devoured them. Other seeds fell on rocky ground where it did not have much soil, and it grew up quickly since the soil was not deep. But when the sun came up, it scorched it, and since it had no root, it withered away. Other seed fell among the thorns, and the thorns came up and choked it. Still other seeds fell on good ground and produced fruit, some 100, some 60, and some 30 times what was sown. Let anyone who has ears, let him hear." So listen to the parable of the sower. Verse 19, "When anyone hears the word about the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in his heart. This is the one sown along the path, and the one sown on rocky ground. This is the one who hears the word and immediately receives it with joy. But he has no root, and it is short-lived. When distress or persecution comes into the world, immediately he falls away. Now the one sown among the thorns, this is the one who hears the word, but the worries of this age and the deceitfulness of wealth choke the word, and it becomes unfruitful. But the one sown on the good ground, this is the one who hears and understands the word, who does produce fruit and yields, some 100, some 60, some 30 times what was sown." If you're ready, Kendra.
Morning. Good to see you, everyone. I have a whole family section over here. Oh, yeah, as in preparing for leading the singing part of today, I was just drawn to Isaiah 63, which talks about how, what Jesus came to do. And, he came to do it then, but he also came to do it now. And so I wanted to remind us of Jesus came to heal the brokenhearted. Jesus came to proclaim liberty to proclaim freedom to those who are captive. He came to comfort everybody that mourns, and he came to give beauty for our ashes and the oil of joy for our mourning, and he came to give us a garment of praise for our heaviness. And it was actually interesting because I was thinking, like, it says he gives a garment of praise for our heaviness, because often I thought I have to muster up my own praise, but I just feel like actually today he's inviting us for an exchange. Like if we have any, I know we're all in different spots, but if we have like any heaviness, he's inviting us to exchange that for a garment of praise. And so my prayer this morning is that we would exchange our ashes for his beauty and our heaviness for his garment of praise, that we may be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he may be glorified in us. So yeah, I see the Lord inviting us to trade with him this morning. And as we praise, I know the Lord will come and rest upon us, because it says in Psalm 22, the Lord inhabits the praises of his people. And in 1st or 2nd Corinthians, it says how when we turn to the Lord, the veil is removed and we can see him. And so yeah, I invite you to stand, and I invite you to put your eyes on Jesus this morning.
You turn my mourning into dancing. You turn
may have a seat.
Let's bow in prayer. Holy God, holy mighty, holy immortal, have mercy on us. Most holy Trinity, have mercy on us. Cleanse us of our sins. Master, pardon our iniquities for your name's sake. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Can we have the offering?
Yeah, for the offertory, I just picked one of my favorite prayers. And even thinking about Mission Sunday, it's all like, what are we doing with God or for God? But it's like the root of it is we were made for him. And yeah, it's all about him. And so that's kind of one of my frequent prayers that I pray as a song. I don't want to talk about you like you're not in this room. I want to look right at you, want to sing right to you. I don't want to talk about you like you're not in this room. I want to look right at you, 'cause I believe you are listening. I believe you move at the sound of my voice. I believe you are listening. I believe you move at the sound. Would you give me dove's eyes? Would you give me undistracted devotion for only you? Would you give me dove's eyes? Would you give me undistracted devotion for only you? Not looking to the left or to the right, I've got my eyes fixed straight ahead. I'm looking at you, keep me looking at you. Not looking to the left or to the right, I've got my eyes fixed straight ahead. I'm looking at you, keep me looking at you. 'Cause I was made for heaven, I was made for Jesus. I was made to walk in the cool of the day with you. I was made for heaven. I was made for Jesus. I was made to walk in the cool of the day with you. I was made for heaven, I was made for Jesus, I was made to walk the cool of the day with you. Would you give me dove's eyes? invite you to stand. Declare my choice to the nations. I will shout for joy in the congregation. I will worship God. I'll worship God. All my days, those who love the Lord are satisfied. Those who trust in Him are justified. And I will serve my God. I'll serve my God. All my days, when the nations crumble, the word of the Lord will stand. Kings may rise and fall. His love will endure, though the strong may stumble. The joy of the Lord is strength to my soul. I will not be shaken, no, no. I will not be moved. I will not be shaken. I will declare my choice to the nation, and I will shout for joy in the congregation. I will worship God. I'll worship God. All my days, those who love the Lord, they're satisfied. Those who trust in Him are justified. And I will serve my God. I'll serve my God. All my days, the nations crumble. The word of the Lord will stand. Kings may rise and fall. His love will endure, though the strong may stumble. The joy of the Lord is strength to my soul. I will not be shaken. I will not be moved. I will not be shaken. Sometimes you just need to declare it, and we will not be shaken. That's so. Yeah. I chose this song partly because Josh is speaking, not that he has anything to do. He does. It says the first line is, "In my mother's womb, you formed me with your hands, known and loved by you before I took a breath." And I'm just remembering, like, every life has been formed by the Lord, and He knows us and He formed us, and we exist because He wanted us to. And so, I thought of Josh, not that it was because of Josh, but. And in my mother's womb, you formed me with your hands, known and loved by you. Before I took a breath, when I doubted, Lord, remind me that I'm wonderfully made. You're an artist and a potter. I'm the canvas and the clay. You make all things work together for my future and for my good. You make all things work together for your glory and for beyond the clouds. And though I've walked through fire, I see clearly now, and I know nothing has been wasted, no failure or mistake. 'Cause you're an artist and a potter, I'm the canvas and the clay. And you make all things work together for my future and for my good. You make all things work together for your glory and for your name. And when I doubt it, Lord, remind me that I'm wonderfully made. You're an artist and a potter, I'm the canvas and the clay. And I know nothing has been wasted, no failure or mistake. 'Cause you're an artist and a potter, I'm the canvas and the clay. And you make all things work together for my future and for my good. You make all things work together for your glory and for your name. In my mother's womb, you formed me with your hands, known and loved by you before I took a breath. Amen. You might have a seat. Can't seem to get enough of me, hey? Morning. Yeah, it is good to be here, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share. Life has definitely knocked me down a few times this past month, literally even. I actually took a spill, and had a swollen ankle for about a week. It's healing now, so now I'm okay. But yeah, it's been rough, and I've been wrestling with what to share, what not to share, because a lot of you know what I'm going to say, and some of you don't. And it's just the tension of, yeah, what's the line between being open and honest, but also like honoring my fellow, being honoring as well. And so, as you may have noticed, I am no longer listed on our missionaries list. And I know most of you are aware that my plan was to end. My plan was going to end Miss Mondays by like December. Like I was going to continue Miss Mondays till. Hi Matt and Indy, I didn't see you here. I've been trying not to look at a lot of you so I don't cry. That's why I don't look at you. It's not personal. Yeah. My original plan, was to end Miss Mondays in December, and I had like a lot of things in my heart to do still, and I didn't feel right about just cutting things like cold turkey, and I feel like I ended really well, like with YFC. I feel like we ended well, everything, like we had our plan, and I felt like I was sticking to what I had said, and everything was going well in that regard. And then all of a sudden I got kind of blindsided, and it was like, you're done, and it was like, this is your last time, and you can't be here anymore. And so then that was hard for me. because I knew it was going to be hard for me. Anyways, like leaving well was already going to be hard, but just having the abrupt ending and not being able to finish well like I had in my heart to do just made it tricky. And there's been things at YFC that I've had, like I'm not going to go into detail, but I've had a lot of struggles there and a lot of things that I have concerns about. And but yeah, it's been really hard for me to be there. But so it's just been a rough go. Yeah. So I spent this happened like within the past 2 weeks or so. So that's why I'm in a bit of a tender place. I'm not like, it's like, okay, now you're sharing in church, but it's like, oh shoot, my heart doesn't feel I'm not fully settled with everything. I'm not fully processed everything, fully grieved everything. So I'm just in that place right now. So I'm trying my best to not spew or not, So I've been crying, been in meetings, been processing, reflecting, and so that's kind of where I'm at. But, so what I decided to do was just share a slideshow of a bunch of I've been there almost 3 years, so I have a slideshow of just a bunch of stuff that, just so you can see the kids and see the youth and see kind of what I've been up to. Because the thing I'm most thankful for about YFC would be the youth and all the relationships that I've built. I have deep love for this next generation, and I know that God had me there for a reason. And I feel, everyone here, I strangely believe that it's just the beginning of what God's going to do, and I know God had me there for a reason, and I do still have a huge heart for the next generation, and I do believe that the Lord's going to do something through the next generation, and I feel like I'm a part in equipping them, and I'm just showing them who God is. And so, And I remember, because often when I was at YFC, or I'd go to these like YFC retreats where there's like all the YFC people, it's just kind of fun. But then people would ask me, well, when did you know you were called to YFC? And I'd always be like taken aback by that comment, because I'm like, I don't know if I've ever been like called to YFC. Like I don't view it. I've always been called to a person named Jesus, and I will go where he leads me. And my calling is first unto him, and he gives me assignments, throughout the way. And I feel like YFC was an assignment, but I feel like I just have a calling to the person of Jesus, and I think he has put in me, a heart for this generation. But he's the one, right? And so, so who knows what God's gonna do and what how he's gonna use this. But I'll go to the slideshow. I hope I can. I'll just kind of comment on the pictures. There's a bunch of them. Those blue chairs I missed, we got rid of them for some reason, and I don't know why. You can switch. That's me and Jordan hanging out with some of the boys. Jordan was an awesome volunteer. There we're working on some art, and that's Stephanie. She was one of my summer staff, and she'd been part of Miss Mondays for like the whole time I've been there, and she's been such a gift to me, and I still I meet with her regularly. I deeply love her. That was after, apparently I set off the fire alarm. I don't know what happened. So then we were waiting outside for the fire trucks to come. They were blaming my cooking, but it wasn't my cooking. Jordan and some of the boys. As you know, every Thursday we would do like a meal, and then we'd do a devotional, and so that's them lining up for the meal. Oh, my dad made it in too. There was one Thursday my dad came in and shared the gospel presentation, like the bridge presentation, and so that was awesome, and he did a really good job. And I remember the youth were really attentive. Like you have some days where they're not, and they were really attentive that time, and so I feel like they really received something, even if you don't know. But I really feel like they did. Jordan brought the ping pong game to YFC. He would often run tournaments, and if Jordan was on for a night, then it's like, Jordan, are we having a tournament? Jordan, are we having a tournament? So and then they actually really improved their skills, because they used to just hit it around, but now they actually, since Jordan could destroy them. So then then all of a sudden they saw you can improve. And so I think there's something to how when you can see someone doing something well, it actually makes you do better. And they really improved after Jordan started playing ping pong with them. Oh, there's my mom. She came in and she helped make donuts. Her and her friend, they made donuts for everyone. Marilyn, I don't have Walter and Jacob there, but they came in to help me with make enchiladas for one supper, and I was really appreciative of them. Oh yeah, and then often on Thursdays, like when there would be makerspace during like 3:30 to 6 or whatever, there's makerspace, and so often the kids didn't feel like doing whatever they were doing, and then they're always like, Kendra, can I help you make supper? And so then I often got to make supper with them, which was actually such a treat to have them. I mean, like they buttered those. There was a lot of butter on those, but they helped. Oh yeah, there they are again. Yeah, I think we made Alfredo that time. That's Brad, my brother-in-law. He led the Devo that time. Pool play. We played pool a lot. Oh yeah, this is I don't know if you could. It's not really that important of a video, but at Christmas time, I did I did a sharing at Christmas time, but I also got like the youth to do like a mini presentation, so I gave them each a verse. So we had like a mini like Christmas service, which I thought was cool because I don't think a lot of them don't go to church, and so like it would have been their first time kind of experiencing like a Christmas program, and so it's kind of cool my version of it. So oh yeah, now we're getting into the Miss Monday stuff. I think we're painting mugs that time. So Miss Mondays has been just a great opportunity for me to get to know so many youth in the community, and like I've had, I don't know, like not the numbers matter, but I had like over 20 to 30 different girls coming through there and got to know them really well. And that's Cheryl Cron led a paint night or a watercolor. And you'll see a few familiar faces, like that is my mom, and that's Ann Strieger. Cindy will be showing up eventually too. Fondue has always been a blast, yeah. And often it's good conversation over just eating chocolate dip things. So my friend Laura would often come, and she would do like manicures. And so they got really pampered. Like I don't think they realized how blessed they were to have Laura, because she like is an esthetician or whatever, and she would give them the full treatment. So Christmas. Then there's Cindy was leading a baking competition. So some of the girls play. I think we were playing Telestrations. I don't know if you've ever played Telestrations, but that's actually a pretty hilarious game. Bleach, we did some bleach dyeing. Cookie pizzas. Cindy is awesome. She like is very creative. I don't know if she's here right now. Oh, there she is. She's so creative, and she has so many ideas, and it's been like such a gift to have her on the team. So another paint night. Oh, there's Anne just getting in on it. Yeah, they love Anne so much too. Anne just has a gift to be with the younger generation too. It's tie-dye. Well, there it is happening. Well, and then you also saw Nettie in a glimpse there. She helped me when I really needed help. So made cake pops. That's one of the earlier days. That was one of my first paint nights that I had. I remember the early days of I have no idea if people are going to show up, and like every time you're just like, oh, I hope someone comes. Like you're putting all this work in. Campfire, yeah, near the last year or so, I often had campfires, and we would take time to do prayer requests and talk about highs and lows, and that's been really sweet. And moving into, I started doing like an alpha series where we would talk about stuff and watch videos, and so we really got deeper as the years went. Oh yeah, we went to Heritage Blooms, and that was such a fun time. Yeah, there we are. Cindy was making us guess her baby's date, and I got it right. I think I was the one I won. Oh yeah, this is Haley. She was the one in the middle. She was a grad, and so for her, she was like the only one that was grade 12. So I took these two girls to the city, and we just like had a good time and blessed her for graduating. Taco nights. I've done a lot of taco nights already, and what I love about taco night is getting to work alongside the youth, because like often you're just hanging out playing games and stuff, but like to actually see them work. And like the one kid was like, he was so tired. I think he had been working for like an hour, and he was just like, oh, I need to sit. This is so unfair. And I'm like, keep going. I was like, yeah, scooping the ice cream. Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. And then we took, often we would go to the Blue Bombers. They would always have like a faith night where one of their players would play or would share at the end just a bit about their faith. And so often we would go for that. That was Sergio Castillo. Here's some of the youth. Peter, he loves his shirt, how his shirt was part of the, yeah. Oh yeah, and these are my summer staff of this year. I love them to pieces. I have an interesting sense of humor, and I have found similar people, and so so I still, often we meet together, play Quirkle and stuff, and I just view it as I view YFC too as I have all these relationships I've built, and I'm going to be able to continue them, and I'm really excited about that. So there's a few more of them. And I think is that my last picture? Yeah. Because even this year, going into leading youth with Jordan and Riley, and I'm really excited about it. And so I was going to share a tiny piece of that. Because leading youth has not been a walk in the park. We're pretty much running it week by week, but we're doing it. And I feel like I've been seeing God just provide, and it always seems to go well. And it just seems like God is really providing people, and he's providing, So it's been awesome. And when I think of leading youth, I just had this crazy idea. It's not even a crazy idea. I was talking to Eddie and Jordan about this yesterday. I had this amazing idea. We're going to read the Bible. I was because when I'm at youth and I'm hearing them, during the Bible study, you hear oh, can you read this passage? Can you read this passage? You hear them reading out loud, and it's so powerful. And I'm my heart is so stirred when I'm hearing them read out loud. And so then I was what if we would read the Bible, get into groups of 3 or 4, and we just read a significant chunk of the Bible before we enter into worship? And just what if we made that a regular practice? And it's why are we not just taking time to read the Bible and as a group, And so instead of saying, make sure you read the Bible at home, why don't we do it here, And so that's one of my ideas, and just filling the space with the Word of God, and fighting the battle in prayer, and just loving him with the love that he has loved us with. Some days are crazy, and you're oh my goodness, what is going on? But I still have so much. I don't get too fazed by even if they're not listening. I know that they're going to be receiving something, and I just trust that God is going to move in them. And so you can keep praying for us, but that's kind of where I'm at. So thanks for listening.
Good morning. Good to be here with you all. I'm thankful today, thankful to the Lord. He's given us many, many blessings. And I'm thankful in my life for my work, which I've been able to do as volunteer coordinator with CCBR doing pro-life outreach. I've been thankful for this for many reasons, one of which would be personal growth. Of course, this has challenged me in terms of my spiritual walk, and also in skill, of course, doing outreach and apologetics, and also some more public speaking as of late to train activists and learn more about doing that. It's been wonderful. Another praise item, I have a photo here of our new office. This is a big praise item for us. We have a new space in Winnipeg, which is really just a huge praise item. It gives us capacity to do so much more. We ran our internship out of here this last summer, which I will talk a little bit about yet. I'm also thankful for many willing volunteers and interns and people participating and supporting us, sacrificing time and energy, all sorts of things in our mission. I'm grateful for all of you, of course, supporting me. I am incredibly grateful for the prayer and the care which you have shown. It means a lot to me. I'm grateful very much for the work that we've been able to do this year, and I'm grateful for the chance to share a bit about it with you. So I'm going to share a bit on 2 programs earlier in the year, and then I'll dive in a little bit deeper on what happened during the internship this year. So first off, with the Florida Abortion Awareness Project, we had 2 wonderful week-long trips. These ones here are geared for university students that are, anybody can go, but it's during their reading weeks, so specifically geared for them. And the program runs so that everyone flies in on a Friday. And on Saturday, we delve deep into a whole bunch of training on apologetics. It's a big day. On Sunday, we all rest together and we get to know one another. And then Monday and Thursday are very big days If you just go back one photo, I believe it's just before this one. This is us doing some outreach. We just have a big display on campus, and people start walking around the campus. As you can see on the right there, we just stop people and have good conversations. Doing that for 4 very full days, and it was very wonderful. You can see a bit more of the team on one of the weeks there in the debrief. So Monday through Thursday, big full days, and evenings are reserved for some team time, some team meals, getting to know each other more, and also spending the nights at host homes. So Florida pro-life people who are supportive. I was very blessed to get to know people who are just blessing us so richly, opening their home to us. And so, yeah, and we get a lot of time with the team. As you can see in the next photo, lots of van rides. And then Friday we leave. That's it, 1 week. We did it twice this year, so 2 separate groups. It was a really wonderful trip this year. This was in February, and I learned a lot. And we have so many hundreds of conversations over that week, and many meaningful connections made with participants. I believe I have a team photo here, perfect. And also getting to know some of the staff of CCBR who don't get to see everyone who's from Ontario. So that was a wonderful experience too, getting to meet with some fellow workers there. If you'd like to learn more about that or hear more stories of that, or even maybe try out doing some outreach somewhere where there's palm trees, let me know. Moving on, so also in the spring break for high school students this last year, we ran our 3rd Winnipeg Pro-Life Boot Camp, which was a great experience. We had 16 kids who were delving into 4 days of quite a bit of training and doing outreach every single day of that program on the University of Manitoba campus, and they rocked it. And doing a lot of team building as well. We put them up in a hotel. They always enjoy that and enjoy the pool and all of that. The program went well, though of course there does naturally come difficulties with doing outreach. So there's many people who are pro-choice on campus, and they pose intellectual difficulties sometimes, but also they can pose emotional difficulty because there are people who have themselves been having an abortion or someone who has. And this becomes a different kind of heart issue for them, and it takes a different kind of defense to speak with compassion and truth to a person in such a situation, which is so, so important. So there's a challenge in that, but in the face of that challenge, these kids rose to meet it. They made us very proud. It was incredible. They were leaning on each other and really becoming a team throughout this kind of joint mission. I think it's a unique way to be connecting with one another. And ultimately, they seemed to learn very much. They defended their beliefs well and did so compassionately. And all the staff, I remember one night after the curfew, sending all the kids to their rooms, were just gushing about how proud we were of these kids. They were absolutely amazing. So wonderful program. Also this year, and please do stop me if you want to hear more about our boot camp too. With the internship this year, we have an intern team photo here. This was our full team. We had 4 wonderful interns from very different walks of life. So first was Nadine. She's a lady on the left who is very active in her church community there in Winnipeg. And just to her right is Fernando, who's a student from Sri Lanka who's at U of M. And then we have the 3 staff. And on the right we have Charité, who is just finished high school and was working with us in the summer before going to college. And then on the right we had Tana, who's an immigrant man from Chad who's been in Canada a few years. So we had a very cool group of people from different walks of life, and I love them. They were amazing. We did a ton of outreach. We averaged about 11 projects every week. So that included choice chains. So the next photo will show us coming from our last choice chain where we did a street display on a street corner. And we've also done lots of vehicle choice chains where we have signs set up for traffic to see. We did lots of postcarding, and then we're going door to door, leaving postcards, leaving pro-life literature message for people in every house, and basically just running a very fast mail route. And then also lots of door knocking, going door to door, having conversations with people in depth. And so we were doing about 11 of these projects every week during the summer. And with that much outreach, with that scale, we get to see a ton of minds change, which is just super fun. These stories are rolling in day after day. And I loved being a part of the staff in that season because during internship, we get to be very intentional about mentoring a few people and thinking about their specific journey and kind of how we can invest into these people for this journey and get them to be growing as outreach, as activists and as people in that season. So a new thing we've had this year for internship is we had a Regina trip. We spent a week out in Regina with the goal to stir up some momentum in Saskatchewan. And there's a pro-life movement working there, just kind of embolden some new trainees and reconnect with pro-life contacts we know already out there. Many of these contacts we knew were hosting us in their homes. So again, a very meaningful ministry that they did for us. Good to connect with them and also see some people become, emboldened in their convictions as they learned more and more. So as you can see here, we did some street outreach on the streets in Regina, and we went to doorsteps around. So that was a big part of our goal, was just to start making waves in Saskatchewan in a big way, and I think we definitely got some accomplishment there. And also, this poses a really good opportunity for developing our Manitoba interns, because it's into August at that point, and it gives them an opportunity to step into a mentorship role, which, I mean, for everyone who teaches in this room, I know there's many, it takes a different kind of learning when you start teaching something. So it was really cool to watch them have to just step up to a different role in that program as we started to train. We had about 12 people in 2 different programs. We had one during the week, a crash course, we call it a crash course over the week, and a crash course as well during the weekend. And there we were able to train these people, and even at one point meet with the Calgary crew, who is doing the very similar thing in Saskatoon. So we're able to all meet in a small town in the middle of Saskatchewan. It was wonderful. It was a really good, busy season, but very meaningful to connect with a completely new demographic, a new area, and do outreach in a more untouched area, as it were. It was during this time that many of you were praying and reached out to me. Many of you reached out, and I just wanted to say a big thank you. This is getting close to the end of a very busy season, and your words of blessing and encouragement were very appreciated, and thank you so much. I have some stats here that show us a little bit of what happened over the internship. So over 2 months, we were able, with 4 interns, to have 488 conversations with people, with 338 of these being with people who disagreed with us in some or all cases about abortion. We were able to have 101 people by the end of one conversation say that we were right, that abortion is always wrong, which is a huge blessing. I remember going into that last choice chain, which you saw a picture of, and we were at 97, I remember, and I think, we need 3 more. We need 3 more. It's a good even number. And so we were blessed with 4 more that day. And we had that, as well as 28 more people becoming more pro-life, people who we could concretely see were changing their words about abortion, who are saying more and more negative things about abortion, contradicting themselves in one conversation, thinking about the issue differently. So there was definitely a very meaningful change we were seeing regularly, which is very encouraging. Beyond that, we had over 70,000 views of abortion victims, of the reality of abortion during the summer, and that included over 10,000 postcards that were delivered. So this is very encouraging to us that we could have a good reach in just those 2 months of work. And just what we could do with 3 staff and 4 interns was very encouraging to us. And we feel very blessed to have been able to have done that. The interns were absolutely wonderful people. I love them. They got more and more emboldened, I think, throughout the summer. And though it's very fun working with them, both interns and volunteers, all the capacity people we work with, they are not superhumans. They're also just wonderful people who have jobs beforehand or going to schooling, and they have their different personalities and traits. Some are more quiet, some are more bold, some are more this, some are more that. They have all kinds of differences that translate differently into how they reach out to others. And so it's really cool to watch each of them individually fight for preborn lives. It's very meaningful. want to give you a little bit of an update of what's going on in the fall. There are two main priorities right now for my position. One is we're running a new program at the moment called Aspiring Ambassadors. It's a pilot program we're running for homeschoolers. So this year in Winnipeg, we have 6 homeschooling kids who are taking out weekly to do a short training, and where they're starting to learn about, of course, what communication and literacy elements, but also biology and philosophy and all kinds of things. And then we go and door knock with them. We go and do outreach with them and train them in defending pro-life convictions. So that's been meaningful. And beyond that, we also, I believe I have a slide here for this too, is we are also growing, I think it's just before this one, but that's okay. We are also growing the volunteer team as well. So that is, as volunteer coordinator, a big priority for myself, is I am working to grow this team, that we have very much a blessing of a good core of regular volunteers going out week after week or bi-weekly to do outreach, to have conversations with people. And we are having a number of new people in this season who are interested in beginning. So lots of people in that initial training phase, then we get to provide more focused mentorship. That's a big part of my role, more focused mentorship on the people just beginning their journey, having conversations, scary conversations, right, with people who disagree with them about abortion. In fact, one such story was happening this last Wednesday night. In the evening on Wednesday, I went out with a new volunteer. He had been trained, but it was his first shift door knocking. And we got about 3 or 4 doors in. Someone answers. His name was Tito. He's a man in his 30s. And we started just having a conversation. Tito explains his view on abortion, that he doesn't believe that this is something that is okay in the majority of cases, but in the run-of-the-mill case, as he says, but rather, if somebody is assaulted or somebody comes across something difficult, that maybe this is something that should be considered. So Tito and I were able to build some common ground and some rapport over the difficulty in these situations, over the need for caring for people in difficult situations. And I afterwards made an analogy talking to him about imagining a 2-year-old in such situations where there is abuse, where there is instability, and how we would treat that 2-year-old with care, and we would not treat them by harming them. Rather, we would, of course, treat both mother and child in this way. And when I asked why we treat this differently, why do we treat one with harm, why do we treat the other with care, he had no response. And he took a long moment to consider what I was saying. And it was actually an uncomfortably long pause. I just kept on talking. And then we started talking about the humanity of preborn children, that they are valuable. I showed him the reality of abortion. It was about 5 minutes of calm conversation with him until I asked him if this would actually make abortion a human rights violation. And his face lit up in a very different way as it was hitting him. He said, yeah, you're right, this would be. And he was agreeing, even in the cases he had just mentioned, that abortion would be wrong. I was grateful, of course, for that conversation with Tito, and grateful for the change that we could see and that we're blessed to see there. And I'm also grateful that that was something that a volunteer could be a part of, right? That someone can come to the door and that this is their experience in outreach, right? And it was very cool to have that. That was last Wednesday. And it's amazing what a 5-minute conversation with the right person can be. So please do continue to pray for prepared hearts and minds. Volunteers are a big deal, and obviously they're pretty core to my position as volunteer coordinator, because instead of having just these programs for me to talk about, we did an internship for these 2 months. We do a program for this week here and there. Instead of just having these lumps of activism that we get to do of outreach in Winnipeg, we get to chip away week after week after week with a small core of people, which I'm really grateful for. They are wonderful people who are making sacrifices for preborn children. I'm very grateful for them. And I have a couple of prayer requests for you as well. So one thing would be the continued growth of the volunteer team. Please do pray that God would continue to move people to be involved in pro-life work in some way. We would love to see the day with 10 times, 100 times the momentum we have now, right? We need more, and pray that God would provide and bless the impact we have. Encourage the team in that. Please pray for success in our homeschooling program. As we begin that out, we'd love to connect with more homeschoolers. We believe that is an important demographic to talk to, people who have very wonderful convictions. And for me as well, please pray that there be encouragement and strength given where I need it, whether it be in slow seasons or in difficult outreach or whatever it may be, and that God would prepare me with the right words and the right heart and the right mind in the outreach that we do, and my team as well. And please pray also for the prepared hearts and minds, that people would be, like Tito, would be ready to receive the truth, that they would hear and they would see and they would be challenged, and that God would use this to change our nation in a beautiful way. So please do pray for those things. I'm going to go out on a limb here a little bit and share an extra couple of thoughts. So I was talking a couple weeks ago to a man on a Saturday morning with a volunteer, and it came out pretty quickly he was what he called an omnitheist or a polytheist. He was in his 20s, and he was speaking of very disturbingly demonic things, his beliefs about Lucifer and very bizarre spiritual experiences that did not seem in any way good. In this situation, I felt increasingly compelled to share the gospel. He very clearly was in need of it. So me and my volunteer stood at that doorstep for about an hour, going back and forth, took a deep breath. Wasn't exactly comfortable, but here we go. We were grateful. He was very open to a conversation about Jesus, and we got to share a lot. He didn't accept Christ in that conversation, but was very open and just had some very interesting convictions involving the spiritual realm that were very troubling. But we were able to go back and forth and try and speak truth, say that, no, actually some of these things you're saying are not, in fact, true or not taught in the Bible. So, to be clear here, I definitely was not the hero of the story here. I definitely didn't have all of the right words to say. I definitely haven't done this regularly, definitely not that kind of story. This isn't the dramatic conversion story necessarily, because I wasn't really the hero in the story. I feel like I was the student in the story, because I was learning something about sharing the gospel, walking away from that door, feeling a different kind of joy from that conversation. I was really learning that there's something very non-extracurricular. This is not an extracurricular part of faith. This is not an add-on, an optional part. That rather it is a vital part, an outpouring from what we have as believers. And I do believe this goes for good works as well, that displaying and living out our faith outwardly, that outpouring that love in our action is something that happens for us as Christians that ought to be the way we display our faith outwardly. Now, why am I going on about this? It's because I want to encourage you and challenge you with what I've been challenged with recently, to find ways to be outwardly focused and to be outpouring in our Christian walk. I'm challenged by these words from James 2. Even so, faith, if it has no works, is dead, being by itself. And for just as the body without the spirit is dead, so also faith without works is dead. We're not just supposed to take our Christian convictions to the pews, but to Walmart and to work and to home and to everywhere, in our actions, in our words, and in everything. And I'm challenged by this idea in outreach and everywhere, to follow this example we have that I find is so beautiful of Christ in Gethsemane. He prayed for the cup to pass, if it could be, and at the end prays, your will be done. Done. Doing is an action word. Doing is an action word. I think that's worth thinking about, because Jesus didn't just say, your will be done, and then walk away, as if he wished for the best to happen, but he said, your will be done, and then he went and did God's will. And he went and died for our sins. So be challenged with me about following Christ's example, doing God's will in our lives, and being challenged to do that in a greater and greater way, as I've seen many of you do. Thank you all for caring and for supporting me in this work. It's been very meaningful. If you'd like to hear more stories or more about anything I'm sharing, please do approach me. I'd love to share more. I appreciate your prayers and your support. They've all meant a lot to me. And God bless you all.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, I'm blessed by the impact of, like you said, you had four people, and then all the impact that you had from just you. And I was reminded of a prayer I heard someone pray one time. It was like, "Thank you, Lord, that you use small hinges to turn big doors." And I was just like, the Lord, yeah, He can do anything, even with like we may be small, but like He can. What can He do, right? His arm is not too short to save. Yeah. So yes, please stand. We'll sing "'Tis So Sweet to Trust in Jesus." Oh, for grace to trust Him more. And we're going to sing the first two verses and then the chorus. And 'tis so sweet to trust in Jesus, just to take Him at His word, just to rest upon His promise, just to know thus saith the Lord. And oh, how sweet to trust in Jesus, just to trust His cleansing blood, just in simple faith to plunge me 'neath the healing cleansing flood. And Jesus, Jesus, how I trust Him, how I proved Him more and o'er. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, oh, for grace to trust Him more. Yes, 'tis sweet to trust in Jesus, just from sin and self to see, just from Jesus simply taking life and rest and joy and peace. Jesus, Jesus, how I trust Him, how I proved Him more and o'er. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, oh, for grace to trust Him more. And I'm so glad I learned to trust Thee, precious Jesus, Savior, friend. And I know that Thou art with me, will be with me to the end. And Jesus, Jesus, how I trust Him, how I proved Him more and o'er. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, oh, for grace to trust Him more. You may have a seat.
Good morning. bear with me. Public speaking isn't exactly my strong suit, but put me in a gym with a group of teenagers and I'll come out alive, smiling, and probably more energized. Stand me in front of all of you, and well, it's completely different. But I'm truly grateful for the opportunity to be here and to share about this ministry that I'm a part of today. There's going to be a video highlighting a whole bunch of stuff, and you might see a clip that looks like teenagers are drinking alcohol from a trophy, but it is not alcohol, it is sparkling grape juice, or sparkling juice, whatever it was, but it was an absolute nightmare, and I'd never suggest using sparkling juice for anything that's expected to spill all over the floor. Like, we mopped the floor and changed the mop pail 4 times, and it was still like your shoes would stick right to the floor. Not a good time. But how many of you remember being a kid and just loving to play something? Maybe street hockey or tag at recess or just tossing a ball around outside. But for me, that love of the game has never really left. And now the same love of playing street hockey, those long games in the driveway till we were forced to come inside when it was too dark, or at the school gym, has grown into something I never could have imagined back then. It became an opportunity to serve the kids who are just like I was in high school. Kids who love the game, who need a place to belong, and might just be looking for something deeper without even realizing it at the time. That's when the Pembina Valley Youth Hockey League, or PVYHL, is all about. It's a floor hockey ministry where grade 9 to 12 boys in all walks of life can come together, play, connect, and experience the love of Jesus in a safe, fun, and welcoming environment, while also growing into godly men who lead with character, integrity, and faith. The story behind the PVYHL. PVYHL started with a simple idea. What if we could use floor hockey to reach hearts, and in the process help shape teenagers into men of character, men who respect others, love wholeheartedly, and learn what it truly means to live as men of God, the kind the Bible calls us to be. And in our area, hockey is huge, but not everybody can afford it. Ice time, gear, and travel costs can make it tough for a lot of kids to play organized hockey, and many kids just aren't good enough to play it in an organized setting, but still really enjoy the sport. So my friend Andre and I, who are both passionate about floor hockey, about youth ministry, we've both been doing it for a long time, but never like in a leadership position, decided we would try this to create the ultimate combination and a place where every kid can belong, whether they aren't quite good enough for organized hockey or their parents can't afford it, or even if they are in organized hockey, but need a space where the pressure is off. The PVYHL is that place. It's a chance for them to play the game they love, build friendships, and have mentors in their corner who genuinely care about them as they navigate life. I should add that Jamie from YFC Winnipeg, they run a similar ball hockey program there, and he was a really big help to us. He helped set up the rules in place and everything that we needed to. Like if we had a question, we could just reach out to him, and he helped us along that process of getting the league going. So we were very grateful for that help. But in the fall of 2023, we launched the vision. Andre and I were fired up. We could feel that God was in it from the very beginning, and he would continue to put pieces in place that we never could have on our own. At first, we had some very big needs, things that honestly we had no idea how we would pull off. We needed 4 sets of goalie gear, and if any of you know how much hockey gear costs, it's like through the roof. We needed quality hockey nets, and we needed a place to play, volunteers, all these things, and God showed up. The Winkler MB Church opened their doors to us to give us the space to use. They gave us access to the entire facility. We can use the youth room, we can use the foyer, like anything we need kind of thing on a Friday night from January to December. Friday nights is our space to use their whole church, basically, for the most part, and at no charge. They believed in the vision that we had, and they wanted to partner with what God was doing. So to help with insurance purposes and logistics, their board officially approved PVYHL as one of the church's ministries, but giving us freedom to run it how we want to. So the church is like the Winkler MB Church isn't really a part of our ministry, but yet they like endorse it and support it as a part of their church because they're giving us the space to use. So then that way we get to avoid all the insurance costs. And then out of nowhere, we needed volunteers. We needed guys who would step up. And we had, instead of us reaching out to guys, we had guys reach out to us. So we had 4 guys reach out to us, and they were excited, passionate, and ready to jump in. A few of them even said they had been looking for ways to serve God, something hands-on, something that reached people outside the walls of the church. And this was exactly what they had been praying for. Next came the gear. We didn't have the funds to get everything we need, not even close. We were looking on Garage Sale and trying to find used goalie equipment. But then again, God provided. Justin Falk, who was the head coach of the Winkler Flyers at the time, offered to purchase everything we needed brand new from Time Out Sports. That was roughly $3,000 to $4,000 worth of equipment, and it blew us away. Jerseys were another big hurdle. We didn't have the money for that either, but several local businesses stepped up, made donations, so that we could outfit every player with their brand new jersey, many kids who have never had a jersey before. And then BMC came alongside us to support us financially on an ongoing basis, which has been a huge blessing and a big part of why we're still going today. One of our goals from the beginning was to make this ministry feel as professional as possible, like keep the league as professional as possible, but to still keep it affordable for all the families. So we set the cost at just $40 per season. We track all the players' stats right on our website, goals, assists, save percentage, even penalty minutes, just like a real league. We kick off each season with a draft night where players are selected to their teams, come up to receive their jerseys, and have a photo taken. A really special night that makes every player valued and a part of something bigger. We asked them this year if they wanted to still do the draft night to see what the students' thoughts were on it, because we thought like it's a big presentation, it takes lots of planning, and they're like, don't ever take it away. We want the draft night, so we keep doing it. But basically, we've tried to bring every aspect of pro hockey into a small ball hockey league. After that, we launched our website and prayed the kids would show up. We didn't get as many students as we hoped for in our first season, but looking back, I really believe that was exactly how God wanted it. We started with 14 boys, grade 9 through 12, all from across the area, from Gretna to Morden and everywhere in between. This small beginning gave us a chance to build a strong foundation with these students. We got to know them all very personally and spend a lot of time with them. And now, just a short time later, we're at a full capacity of 32 students, and this fall, for the first time, we had to turn students away, which is really hard for me to do because I asked Andre, I'm like, is there any way we can get these students in here? But it's just, logistically, we couldn't do it. So we'll see where the league goes. We have dreams of expanding, but for now, this is what it is. But it's amazing to see how something so small has been impacting so many lives. So our season goes from September to April with drop-in nights in the summer. Every week kicks off with warm-ups, loud music, and that familiar pregame buzz you get before a game starts. It's such a fun atmosphere, and it gives our mentors a chance to connect with students in a relaxed, natural way. They check in, chat, and to see how the players are doing, how the students are doing, just in a simple way. And after that, we have opening announcements, a group prayer to set the tone for the night. Most evenings, we'll have a short devotional to start the night, and that way, later on in the night, when teams get together, they have a chance to talk about the devotional. Or we'll have, oh, my bad. Or sometimes we bring in guest speakers that will speak at halftime, speakers that have experience in sports and faith, things like that. Or we will have one of our mentors share a testimony. So we have 4 teams in our league, and each team has a coach that also gets to play hockey with the students. We don't just sit on the sidelines. And we get to encourage them, and we get to coach them into becoming better hockey players, and also on the faith aspect. But with 4 teams, each one plays 2 games per night, which means while one game is on, the other team has different roles. One team will help running the game, the music between the whistles, working the scoreboard, tracking stats and saves, or helping with paperwork. The other team uses that time for what we call team time, a moment away from the distraction where they get to go and meet in a different spot in the church, where they get together in a quiet space and they can pray and they can talk about life and just do life together in a small setting. That's where kids open up and they share about the things that are really going on in their life. It's incredible to watch the bonds that form during these moments. It's really one of the main focuses of the league, these team time moments. And it's so important for students to have that mentor in their life that they can ask questions. Over the last couple of seasons, we've had some really amazing moments that remind us why we do this. One of them was a student that played a very high level of ice hockey. He was playing AAA hockey at the time, and his parents were pushing him pretty hard, and he has the potential to go pretty far with hockey. But he joined our league so that he could feel joy of just not having the pressure, I guess. But one night you could tell something was off, and he wasn't himself. He looked down. Before I could step in, I noticed it, and then I was going to step in, but then one of the other mentors jumped in between whistles during the first game of the night, they sat down together and they were praying on the bench. And that was really cool to see, and that really turned his night around. Another story that stands out to me is one of our more energetic players. He's one of those kids with endless energy and a few challenges like ADHD and some other stuff, but he's a great player, but he used to take a lot of penalties and he was incredibly hard on himself. One of our mentors made a point of praying with him every single week before the games. Over that season, we saw change. His penalty minutes dropped, his attitude shifted, and he became one of the best teammates out there. Because of that growth, we decided to bring him with us to the YFC Nationals, there's some videos of the Nationals on here where we're wearing the yellow jerseys. But we brought him with this last summer, and we were a bit nervous about it because we weren't sure how he would handle the pressure, because we've seen outbursts and moments of anger or just being very hard on himself in the past. And nothing bad happened. He was actually amazing at Nationals, and he even scored a big goal for us, and all the other teams were cheering for him too in that moment. So it was just really cool. From the very beginning, one of my biggest concerns was whether the games would get too intense. All that teenage energy, testosterone, competitiveness. I wondered if we'd see frustration and bad tempers. But the exact opposite has happened. These young men have shown incredible respect for one another. In 2 full seasons, we haven't had a single major incident. They get it. They know at the end of the night we're all brothers, and they treat each other as such. I'll never forget the one night when Steve's team came back from their team time to play their next game. Instead of just chirping at each other and making light fun at each other, they were complimenting the other team in between whistles and just bombarding them with hugs and shouting things like, "It's all about loving one another." It was one of those moments that sums up what it's all about. We had some concerns at the beginning about skill levels as well. How would we make the players mesh if we have kids who play high-level ice hockey and we have kids that have never played floor hockey before? But that has also turned out better than we could have expected. We see inclusion and teams genuinely working together. I'll never forget one moment when there was our AAA ice hockey player. He spent one of the games focusing on just helping our worst player get his first goal. Nobody asked him to do that, but he just did it. Chance after chance, he was feeding that guy passes until he finally scored. And then when he scored, he celebrated, and it was just a crazy moment. But moments like that, seeing the boys encourage one another, are what we really love about the PVYHL. It's not just about hockey, it's about growing together, building character and friendships, and doing life. There's a few things we do. Oh, this is a cool moment. We got to tour the Canada Life Center with the guys last summer. It was really fun. But We also do a few things outside of hockey to build relationships and strengthen the bond between students and mentors. One fun night a month we'll do, which is usually like we'll use the youth room, we'll throw on a Jets game, we'll order in pizza, and we'll just hang out. It gives us a chance to talk to students and just take them aside one-on-one or just have conversations with them. And it's usually a pretty big night for the boys. Like they really enjoy those nights where we just all hang out as one group. Another special thing we do is called Mentors Night. Students get to bring their dad, their uncle, or any man they look up to. They get to play against them, and then Jamie from YFC Winnipeg will come out and he'll lead a 15-minute talk with everybody about sports and faith. And then we all get to celebrate together with a pulled pork meal catered by my dad. It's one of those nights the students continue to talk about for months afterwards. But our biggest annual event is the YFC Nationals. It's a 3-day tournament where we bring 10 students, we sleep on a gym floor, we do life together nonstop. There's no such thing as personal space. It's like a youth retreat, but with a lot more sweating and testosterone. We definitely enforced every student to shower daily and even sometimes twice daily to keep the stink down. There's a ton of fun games, but there's also so much downtime at that event where we get to talk to students one-on-one. And then a bunch of YFC workers get to share their testimonies with the students as well. So it's a really cool time to be together. This past summer at Nationals, oh, my video's over. That means I'm going long. The past summer of Nationals was incredible. A true Cinderella story for the PVYHL. Last year at the Nationals, we didn't win one game. We got stomped so bad. This year, we lost all our preliminary games, so we were at the bottom going in, and we told the boys, let's just win one game so we can go home with our heads held high. So in our first game, the Nationals, there's only actually 3 teams, so it's like not like real Nationals, because we're working on getting more YFCs and stuff on board, but either way, we had to play a best of 3 against the second place team to make it to play against the first place team. We came out flying. We were up 4-0 in the first, was it 4-0 or 3-0 in the first period? But we let that slip away on us. So in the third period with 45 seconds left, we were down by 2 goals. We scored twice to force overtime, and then Rylan, a local Rosetown kid, our youngest player that we had with us, scored the game-winning goal like 12 seconds into overtime. And it was a huge moment. Just the cheers from like the other teams, like the Winnipeg team and stuff, just cheering for us to get our first win was so cool, especially coming from our youngest player. Then in the next game, in the best of 3 series against Saskatoon, we found ourselves down by 2 again at the end of the third period. But our boys didn't give up. They scored 3 goals in the last minute and 45 seconds to absolutely crush Saskatoon's hearts, and it was so good. The Saskatoon students were so mad, but they mostly got over it by the next day. Some of them took it a little personal, but it was all fun. The league has been such a blessing and a huge impact on the students in our community. I just want to sincerely thank BMC for their ongoing support and keeping this ministry running, as well as all the mentors and volunteers who give their time and energy to make this ministry happen. Now here's where we are today. PVYHL has grown, and that's a huge blessing, but it also means more gear, more sticks, more jerseys, and more opportunities to reach the youth. We're praying for 3 main things. One is more financial support to help cover the costs of balls, jerseys, equipment, so that any kid can play, no matter their background. We have times every year where students can't afford sticks, so we provide that for them. And right now we have enough gear to keep the league running, but there's no extra money, and we're running out of extra equipment. So as equipment wears out and needs replacing, or when a student needs a different size piece of equipment that we don't have, we need to be able to provide those things. So things like gift cards to Timeout Sports, or even like for Superstore or Walmart, because we're feeding these kids too. So it gets pretty expensive for us. Next summer, we're also planning an event, the YFC Nationals, but it's being hosted in Calgary. So we're planning on taking 10 students for a full week. And that's obviously going to have some extra costs. So we're looking for more finances for that as well. But another big thing is prayer, because we can plan all we want and we can show up all we want, but we need prayer, and we need wisdom, and we need protection, and we need the Holy Spirit to be present in the league so that we can really make a true impact on these students. Without God, we're just guys playing hockey. So whether you love hockey or not, I hope you'll remember this, that God can use anything for his glory, even a ball and a stick. So just please pray for the leaders, the families we're reaching, and if God puts it on your heart to support the PVYHL through prayer or through giving, I'd love to chat with you after the service. Together we can continue to change the lives of the younger generation. Thank you.
Thanks to all our speakers. Regulation play is over. I'm not going to make you go to overtime. I'm going to change your schedule. Let's have Kendra do the final song. We'll do benediction, and then we can play the video afterwards. People can stay if they want, and we'll make it available for future watching. My apologies. Thank you.
Thanks, Riley. That was amazing. I was like tearing up the whole time, and I'm like, what is it? It's so beautiful to see your heart, and the God is obviously in the midst of that, and it's obviously, yeah, it's from his idea even, so yeah, okay. The last song I chose was called The Wonderful Cross. It's When I Survey with an added chorus, and I chose it because in Hebrews 12 verse 3 it says, "For consider him who endured such hostility from sinners against himself, lest you become weary and your hearts give up." And yeah, the key to not growing weary is to consider him. And so, who endured such hostility? So yeah, I invite you to stand and we'll sing this last song. Survey the draw near and bless your name. And oh, the wonderful cross, oh, the wonderful cross bids me come and die and find that I might truly live. And oh, the wonderful cross, oh, the wonderful cross, all who gather here by grace draw near and bless your name.
For benediction today, bringing Numbers 6, verse 24, 25, and 26. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Thank you for coming, and a special thank you for those that have shared. I wish you all a wonderful week, and if you want to stick around for Ryan's video, that'll be played right away as well. Thanks.
Good morning, BMC. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I'm grateful I can be a part of the service this morning, even though I can't be there in person, or even doing this live for that matter. But I'm grateful to be a part of this time and that you guys have a chance to hear about all the different ways that you guys are impacting not just the community around you, but even the world and here in Mexico, and how you guys are part of this ministry and continue to be a part of my life and the ministry here of Second Mexico. So I'm grateful I can be a part of this and just share a bit about things I've been going on down here in the last little while. This morning I couldn't even connect online because as you guys are watching this, we are going to be in a town about an hour from here. One of our full-time staff, Guillermo, who I'm sure many of you have heard about before. He was a guy who got pretty sick on the last trip we went out to in Chihuahua, and thank the Lord he's doing really good now. And about this week, we're actually hosting a team, a group of students from Miller College of the Bible from the Saskatchewan campus, and they've sent teams for a number of years for a missions module, a transcultural missions module. And so they've been spending the week here, and this Sunday, actually this day, they're going to be out participating and being a part of Guillermo's church. It's El Choido is about an hour up the coast and just a small fishing village. And so they'll be participating, sharing some testimonies and just a time together, fellowship with those believers. This course is kind of an intensive missions course that we've been able to offer. And so we have 10 students right now from Miller over this week and just into next week. So I just want to share a little bit of some of the things that are going on out here over the last couple of months. I guess I saw you guys back in July or August, and this year has brought so many surprises, that I've shared about kind of like every year, and this year in particular, with the fact that we didn't have our school running in January like we usually do. And this year, but it's brought many different surprises in many ways, I think, obviously, that we haven't expected, and ways in which God has opened doors. And we've seen that especially over this last month since I've come back. And as we've been looking this year and just thinking about, what does a ministry of SEC look like? And not only in just this, the 4-month program that we offer January to April, but throughout the rest of the year, how do we continue to carry out the vision that God has placed on our hearts? And then that vision is to collaborate with the churches in the fulfillment of the Great Commission by training leaders, equipping leaders through biblical teaching. And so what does that look like, not just during those 4 months we have those students here, but the rest of the year, and not just here on SEC, but also off-site. And that's where in this last month, since I got back from being up there with you guys in Manitoba, about a week and a half later, hardly got time to unpack the bags and repack them again, and headed on the trip again with Guillermo, the same guy who got sick, pretty sick on the last trip. We went to Chihuahua, but this time we went further. We actually went all the way down to the southern coast of Mexico, and you'll see a map of this trip that we took. We traveled over 5,000 kilometers all the way to the very southern tip of Mexico, the coast of Oaxaca. And we made a number of trips along the way down and coming back up. And we probably stopped in over 10 places altogether, visiting some of our past students, visiting some churches that we've connected with in the past, and then also visiting some new contacts that have opened up along the way. And one thing that just impacted us so much on this trip, not just connecting with old students, seeing some students like Leoncio down here, about 8 hours south of Mazatlan, who was a student in 2016 and continuing to just serve faithfully and serve there with his family, working in street evangelism. And just one of the examples of many of the students who just continue on and hadn't seen him for a number of years, but to just arrive there with him, spend a night there with him, and wanting to encourage him, but really just be encouraged by him and to see him just continuing on and faithfully serving. And but from there, we went further south. We went to an area that we've connected with in the past. But some of the connections we had hoped to make, they didn't work out. But where we came to one of these places, and this happened in a number of places in this area that we went, and the invitation to come back, the invitation to spend more time, the invitation to do some training, some conferences on site in some of these places. And that's exactly something that God has been placing on our hearts, something that I've had on my heart for a number of years, but not always seeing the way in which we could make it happen, and kind of waiting, more than anything, waiting for these doors to open. And so as we got to this place in Jalisco, outside of Guadalajara, which would be about 15, 16 hours south of here, there was one place, and then another place within an hour, and then another place. And then on the trip back, we came to that area, and a fourth place, and all these places probably within a couple of hours, and everyone were saying the same thing. We want you guys to come back. We want you guys to spend some time here in this place, and we want you guys to do some teaching and training. And when we made it all the way down south to Oaxaca, the furthest southern state, just like on the Eastern Pacific, right on the bottom of Mexico there, right to the very coast, we came to the house that the father of one of the full-time staff members here, Hael is her name. She was a student a few years ago, and now she's part of the staff. But her dad is a pastor down there. And he took us on a whirlwind tour to a couple of different churches over those 2 days. And one of those being a service at 6 a.m. in the morning. They have their church services at 6 a.m. in the morning, Saturdays and Sundays. And so as we get there, as the dawn is breaking, and the people are just kind of filing in from the neighboring villages and towns and coming down from the hills there. And it was just one of the, I think we went to 4 different services within 2 different days, where we were preaching and sharing about the service. But this desire and this hunger to hear the word, and for us to come back and to spend some more time in these communities, and also the excitement about the ministry of SEC, we just came to see and realize more of the need, and we were able to witness more of this desire and this hunger and this thirst for a lot of these churches that are maybe more isolated, not in some of the bigger cities necessarily. But we were just deeply impacted by the hunger, desire for training for the word, and just how God led us to some of those places too. And at that place, as we were spending a couple of nights there, they said, "We want you guys to come. We'll provide the accommodations. We'll provide the places, the classroom. We'll provide the food. We'll even pay for your way down. We just want you guys. Want you guys to come." And for us, it kind of as we've been just seeing kind of doors open, and you walk through these doors, and then new doors open, or doors open wider. And as we've been doing some of these trips, we've just sensed God's presence. We've sensed God's leading, and leading us too as a school as to where do we continue, where do we go, where does God want to take us in the future. And so we were so excited to see this hunger and thirst for the ministry that that we've been called to. We've sensed God has placed on our heart, and then these open doors to do it, and not just here in San Carlos, not just here on site, but then also to go off site to some of these places and bring God's word to places that are just searching for growth and for help, and not financial help. They're looking for people to come and invest time and to build in through the teaching of the word. And so for myself and Guillermo, just some of the things we faced this year, whether with the school being postponed this year, even with the illness that he went through on our previous trip, all of these things have kind of helped to clarify more and more what our vision is and what we believe God is calling us to, and it's just seeing it affirmed as these doors open in different places. And so it makes us very excited, even more excited, for the future. And then as we came back on the trip back to, we met with 2 new pastors who we'd never met before, and actually just got a call from one of them just the other day, telling us to hold a spot for us in January, because they have one person who's filling out the application form, and then they have a couple of people who are considering too. So it's so neat to see God working in those ways and opening doors and just affirming the ministry. And we're looking forward to receiving another batch of students this coming January. We're getting ready for that. And then also looking at what it looks like to serve and to minister, just not here in San Carlos, but just across Mexico, wherever there's this need, wherever God leads us as well. And so we're so grateful for that. We're so grateful for your prayers and for your participation, your continued participation in this ministry. And we just continue to cover your prayers. We've got an Ephesians study coming up this Saturday. It's also something we've never done before. We'll do a 6-week study just for people here in the community on site, and so people will come in, and Guillermo's going to lead us through expository study on the book of Ephesians. And then beginning of November, we have a conference, just a 2-day Friday, Saturday conference beginning of November, or it'll also be people who come from the community and here from the state. So we're just excited. This year is just coming to an end so quickly, and a year that maybe looked like it wasn't going to have a lot on the agenda, just because the classes were canceled. But God has really used in many ways for us as a team, and then also for us as a ministry to just continue to flesh out what it looks like to be a part of this ministry here. So I look forward to seeing you guys all again. I don't know when the next time will be, but thank you again for your continued prayers, for support for myself, for the ministry here. You guys are all invited. Please come anytime, and just continue to lift our team up in prayer, these activities that we have, the future students, and also our past students as they continue to minister in many different ways. And I just had, on our very last stop that we made on this trip back, just about 4 hours south here, we got to visit one of our students, a couple who were students just this last year in 2024. And actually this coming November, they're going to be installed as the new pastors in this area. And if you knew these guys, if you would have seen them here with fear and trembling, I think they are serving. And they took on this position, never having been pastors, and Jesus being a guy who you could hardly get a word out of. But through the time in SEC and since then, God has just been really working in them and in him specifically, and giving him a lot of courage to share God's word. And for him to take this position, to take a place of a pastor in a small church that's kind of this would be the first time that they have a pastor full-time there, was a big step of faith. But to hear them and see them, and to see that they are growing, and to see they're excited about what's happening there, is neat to walk alongside and to see how God continues to work in these students, and for us to be a part of them. So that's just one example of many I could talk about the students who've come through here. So all that to say, thank you very much. God bless each one of you. Dios les bendiga. And we'll see you sometime soon. All right. God bless you guys. We'll see you all. Good morning, BMC.